Mine says meeting and streaming live. So we're live right
Okay.
now. Even though we
Okay,
don't.
that means we're live on other platforms. All right. We haven't even officially started. It's behind the scenes, everybody, if you're watching on TikTok or YouTube. If you want to join the official Half Second Faster Zoom so that you can get notifications, you get emails, you get replays, you get a chance to win a buckle this week. This is a free online barrel clinic, but it's not like any barrel clinic you've ever attended because we're doing something brand new at Stall High. Look on the screen, go to halfsecondfaster.com, sign up for free, and then you'll get access to join us on the Zoom so that we can interact. All right, are we getting close? Yeah, 2 minutes to go time.
I'm going to change some names. Foz, can you change or add your name to Stall High? So I can figure out who's.
Kendra, have you like? Have you got the Hotsbook?
Foz, I think we're good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Without
Okay.
Hotsbook?
Without what?
Without Hotsbook.
Oh, Foz, I haven't written the horsework yet. Oh. And Shelly, I have a training session with Coach Michael after this. So
Now,
you know what I want it to be?
He's got
he
a
has a 2 o'clock
coaching. Yeah.
So we're going to have to hammer down. Foz, if you could please go back through the horsework, the one where we did the assignment with the clothing. That's what I wanted to do today. So
okay.
I want them to pick out their most uncomfortable, god-awful, like too small, too tight clothes and put themselves in their horse's shoes. It's a really fun way to do it. So if you could find that one. If not, I should be done with Michael before 2 o'clock because he has a 2 o'clock.
Right.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah, I'll let them all in.
All right.
Okay, Kendra.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in, come on in. It is day 3, Half Second Faster Challenge. How's everybody doing? Are you gaining value from this week? Are you glad that you signed up? Are you glad you're here? Drop it in the comments. What is the most mind-blowing thing that you have heard this week? What do you think really opened your eyes the most this week in Half Second Faster? This is for our new challengers, and this is also for returning challengers, current students in our Stall High programs, and alumni. Did you hear something this week that just rung your bell for a minute and you're still trying to wrap your head around it? Welcome. We have those every day at Stall High. That's what we're all about. Stall Higher education for cowboys and cowgirls who give a damn. We are here to advocate for the horse. We are calling every rider up. We're not telling anyone that they suck. We're not throwing shade or casting blame on anyone or any brand or product. We all understand that everybody is doing the best that they know how to do at the time. What we are excited to bring that is different to the sport of barrel racing is a new style of riding based on neuroscience, brain science, and biomechanics. So we're really uncovering a lot of false beliefs that we have, some of them we've really held on to for many generations. Like the first day we covered bend and flex and why not to do that anymore, because it's really hurting you more and setting you back than it is setting you up for success. And I understand it has been esteemed as one of the go-to gold standards in horse training for a long time. Once you come into this program and you see the damage it's doing to your horse and how much longer you're having to spend with them because of it, and a new way that's way easier, more time efficient, cost efficient, less risk, it's a no-brainer. Yesterday, we talked about the hidden horsepower in our feet. We did a lot of soul searching. Sherry, will you read some comments to me? What were the most profound aha moments this week? Sherry McKenzie's in the house, y'all. The metal stirrups, that blew my mind. Last summer, I remember exactly where I was sitting when I made that connection. Like I was sitting, we have sky chairs hanging on the back porch, and I'm just watching through horse work, and it just clicked. And when it clicked, it hit me like a lightning bolt. Wait, what? Metal stirrups conduct electricity. Are we shocking our horses? Potentially, if not a lot. How much? Is that part of the reason they act like they're three-toed and sky-high and bulletproof? Is that why they can't concentrate? Well, now we have scientific data to prove that they do conduct electricity. And even though we don't know how much that impacts the horse, we can all agree that it does to some extent. And if you can simply eliminate that, why not? What else?
How the imbalances can affect the smaller imbalances can affect the horse in a big way.
Yeah, a small imbalance can affect your horse in a big way. And what feels balanced to us does not mean it feels balanced to our horse. So can you imagine having to carry a kid on your back who's squirmy, who hurts your back, that if they hang off to one side, like you're got your kid on your back and you're trying to walk through the grocery store and they're just trying to grab all the stuff off the shelves. Well, if you did that every single day, do you think you would develop some aches and pains? Do you think you'd get a little nervous tick? Like it might impact you mentally over time if you had to deal with that every stinking day. Anything else? Any other?
A good one.
What is it?
It teaches me what a horse is able to tolerate in an attempt to please their human.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very well said. Who said that?
Kendra, I think you
I
froze.
don't even, Kendra. Say there.
You
Do I still have
froze?
audio? I froze. Sorry.
Yeah.
Am I back?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. While we can pat ourselves on the back and we can applaud each other on our amount of hustle, like, way to go, Kendra, you really put a ride on him. Good job, good job, good job. At what cost? At what cost? And again, I don't want anyone to misinterpret our intent for doing these challenges. We're not here to make anyone feel worse, even though the truth can be a son of a gun. It can be a tough pill to swallow, especially when it punches you in the nose and you realize, wait, I fell for false beliefs my whole life. I didn't know these things. It's okay. Don't feel bad. None of us did. The cool thing is we get to be the first ones that do know it. So this is your first in advantage. So I don't want anyone to feel bad about, especially today, because today's going to be a tough day. Earlier in the week, I asked permission to speak candidly. I'm going to rip the blindfolds off today. So whether you know you're riding with blindfolds or you don't have a clue, we're going to rip them off today. Do I have permission? If you are someone who has thin skin, takes offense, if you value our traditions more than truth, and you're going to get offended by that, now's a great time to exit this Zoom or just scroll out of this live feed, because this will probably hurt your feelings. We don't mean to, but it's tough to look at. Once you see it, you can't argue with it, and you can never unsee it. And here's another thing about watching today. You will be held responsible. Once you see what horses are going through with today's topic, it will forever rattle your cage. It should. If it doesn't, one of our guest speakers today is going to bring you up to speed real quick, and she's going to challenge you from her own experience. Do I have permission to rip the blindfolds off? Are y'all okay? I don't want anybody to take this personal. We okay out there? Hey. Okay, if it's not the time, I believe you're in the right place, but it may not be the right time. And that's okay. It's okay to exit the Zoom and do whatever you've been doing. We're going to talk about drills today. If you want to sabotage your run, if you want to continue to pay vet bills for injections and pain relief, and you pride yourself on spending at least an hour every day tuning and drilling your horse multiple times a week, keep doing drills. If you want to learn a new way that is going to get results exponentially faster with your horse, it's easier on their spine and their mind. So rather than putting their spine in the bind, rather than shortening their muscles and causing them to have a real choppy little stride and stab like we saw yesterday, you watch this mare right here. When I demonstrated bend and flex, you watched her stride get short and she started stabbing into the ground with her feet. You see the dust out here. As opposed to this new way of riding in natural flexion, where the cerebral spinal fluid and the synovial pump can pump up and down her spine with no interruptions or disruptions. You saw her head lower, her top line increase naturally, and her stride elongate. So everybody who's spending thousands of dollars on top line products to fill out your horse's top line, this is a way more effective way to help your horse's top line today. It's how we ride. It's how we were taught to ride. The tack, the saddles, the reins, the headstalls, the bits, the boots we wear, everything we have been taught to purchase and the techniques that we have been told, we're finding at Stall High, there is a new, different way that is a much lower risk to get a much higher reward. Are y'all in? Okay. We're going to talk about drills. Leanna Ray, she's back with us today. This is our lead stride coach of neuroscience. What does that mean? That means she's a neuroscientist. She has spent the bulk of her career in relational neuroscience with a very heavy study on movement. And now she is applying that to us, what we love to do with horses. Leanna, how's your morning?
Hey, it's
Now
so
afternoon.
great. It's so great to be here. I am loving catching up on everyone's horse work. It's awesome.
So
Because,
good.
and the reason why the horse work is so important is because we don't learn just through lectures. That's a very left brain way of learning. We really learn and we embody what we learn. And embodiment means I can take what I learn and I can live through it. I can move with it.
Mhm.
We have experiences, and every coursework assignment we give touches into an experience that you've had or are having, and that creates the space in your brain to create changes, to open up the space to even invite changes to happen. That's why doing the horse work, listening to the horse work, right? It creates the space and capacity for you to, again, create that energy for change to come in, right? That's
Yes.
just, yeah. So we're an experience-based brain, period. We learn through experiences.
Yes. How many of you have had your fill of people yelling at you at the fence?
Mm-hmm.
Jack, lift, hustle. Does that help you or does it rattle you? Does it distract you? Does it give you a little adrenaline high? Does it give you a little hit of adrenaline like, oh, somebody loves me? That's usually what it does for me when I can hear anyone. I'm like, oh, love me. Thank you. Thanks. Stop. But even that kind of distracts me. So Leanna is going to set you free from all of that pressure. Leanna's here to explain the brain science of barrel racing so that you don't beat yourself up and you don't stay stuck. Chances are you ride a whole lot better than you think you do. But if you are using tack and applying techniques that the horse cannot tolerate and their body language is trying to tell us, I can't do this. Like this is in defiance of my biology. Like every cell in my body is in opposition. Then it's time that we know. It's time that we learn a different way that's a lot easier on the horse and easier on us as well. So Leanna, let's get into it. I stopped doing drills in 2002.
Good for
Our
you.
daughter Kaden was 2 years old and I was at my lowest of low. It was back on my buying spree, I guess you could say. Like I thought a faster horse would solve my problems. So I just started buying them. And my problems did not get better. They got so much worse. And I just lost all sense of direction, confidence. I went from what I thought was being a very accomplished, confident rider. In high school rodeo, I got pretty cocky because typically every weekend, once I learned how to just throw my hands forward and kick, I learned how to hustle. I accomplished, I checked the box, the art of hustle. I learned how to do that my freshman year in high school. I would just trot up there to the rodeo secretary's box and pick up my 2 checks, barrels and poles. Hot damn, let's go. And just love it and thought I was a big damn deal. Until I got married and moved to North Texas and got my butt kicked. The competition was so much tougher when I scaled up, not just in location, but in, age rank also. So how at some point, everybody learns how to hustle. It's then going to become about horsemanship when you get into higher levels of competition. And this is a brand new level of horsemanship in itself. So I got to a low point, Leanna, and I was ready to just throw it all away. I'd been very successful as a youth rider, 2 trailers, saddles, buckles, very accomplished. But then I got here, and within a matter of years, it was like I didn't know how to ride anymore. It was not fun. It was a mental whooping every time I got brave enough to enter another race or a rodeo. Because of my horse, I would work so hard in the practice pen, and I would haul to a race, and they would just puke it up. And then I would just feel like there's something wrong with me. I don't want anybody else to repeat those mistakes. Do y'all feel, is anyone there right now? That's the first thing I want to know. That's a very low place to be, especially when you used to feel like you won everything. You had a hot streak and you couldn't not win. Well, what happened was my parents put me on good older horses that knew the path of least resistance. Sadly, they were going to win even if we duct taped a chicken to their back. So I took their credit. Not good. I didn't realize that until I got older. So I'm very thankful that someone pulled me out of mainstream barrel racing theology and challenged me to find a different way. And then Leanna Ray, when you and Michael Richardson came into our lives at Stall High, I've never heard anybody talk like you. I've never considered these things, and I've been in the industry my whole life. What are drills actually doing to our horses?
Oh, well, the simple answer,
Mhm.
which is, there's the profound in the simple, is that drills drill in the compensation patterns of our horses. They are drilling in, right? The compensatory movement patterns that over time increases the wear and tear on their joints, their muscles, and their body, and mentally and emotionally. That's what drills are doing. Coming from the field of movement science, there is a wonderful lady, she's an educator. And years ago, when worksheets were so popular, she wrote a book and she did the research behind it, and it's Worksheets Don't Grow New Dendrites. And she advocated for all teachers to stop giving kids more worksheets, which are drills.
Yeah.
And she proved that it's not growing anything new, that it's only through the movement and the embodying of an experience that stores new information in the most powerful parts of our brain and our body. And that is true of horses. The problem is that if we just have them do the same drill over and over and over again, we're drilling into them their compensations. We're drilling into them really the pathways between their brain and the body that are creating more tension, more constriction, more brace. It's cost. Yeah, and you can't undo that. And you're you can't. And drills aren't going to, this is why we're here having this conversation. But yes, that's what drills do.
So when you say compensation patterns, what are you talking about?
So if if the hind end hasn't been unlocked and opened up, they're just going to continue that drill is going to reinforce in their body, hold, constrict, right? And in that drill, it's what's happening is the neural pathway between the hind end and the brain is actually being reinforced. It's reinforcing the trauma that's already there. That's what it does. And so we're hardwiring that in more and more in their bodies and in our bodies, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We are
And
hardwiring the stress and the trauma to just, we're creating a deeper crevice for it. Yeah.
And when you ride unbalanced and you don't know it, as I proved Friday before last, busted. We had the little device underneath my horse, and I really thought I nailed it. Woo, hot dang, she feels great. She's ready to rodeo. And then wait, come back, Kendra. You are off. Your horse is moving real heavy on the left. And that's a major red flag. Heck, can you imagine if I'd asked that mare to go to a rodeo? To her, it feels like I'm hanging off the side. Well, how much fun is that? That's got to be painful and irritating at best. So when we don't know our own bodies because we've lost baseline somewhere along our experience in the quest for us, trying to go fast and have fun for our own sense of accomplishment, I lost my baseline and I was numb until y'all came along and started educating us on the central nervous system and how our brain should be communicating and can communicate with our body. It's wow. If I'd had this information 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I think of how many millions of dollars could have been added to my career earnings. Think of all the young riders coming in now who will never have to repeat our mistakes, guys, because they're going to learn a new way that just bypasses all the crap. And then think forward from right now that we have an opportunity to learn this, stack the cards in our advantage and in our favor and for our horses and not against us unknowingly. Come on, think about the arena records that have yet to be set from riders coming through this program, learning from our stride coaches like Leanna Ray. Talk a little bit about how a drill is going to actually shorten the muscle. And it doesn't matter how many therapists you pay to stretch it, or you can get off your horse and stretch before you run. But if you're drilling your horse, you're just keeping that muscle short.
Yes. So what we have is we have those muscles that are quick fire muscles, and then we have ones that are elongation muscles, right? And so we're activating the quick fire, but we're not allowing the postural muscles to come in and support the movement that we're actually wanting, right? So when you think athletically, yes, you've got the quick fire ones. Those are our athletic muscles, if you will. But those athletic muscles are only going to be as effective, right, and powerful as their postural muscles are allowed to develop, right? And so those are the things that we're wanting to see that's going to provide that benefit, that power that we're wanting, not the drill. And those drills do not train or educate those postural muscles. What's happening is that those drills, again, they reinforce the constriction, not only in the horse's body, but let me just go back to say in the rider's body as well. So for me, it's have we established more space in the rider's body and in the horse's body? Those drills don't establish space. Those drills don't allow the hind end to be unlocked. Those drills don't actually soften the diaphragm, which is the bridge between the hind end and the front. Those drills don't soften and open, right? They don't do
restrict.
that. They restrict.
Huh. I wonder, why are breathing machines so popular today? Why are so many horses bleeding, guys? Has anyone stopped to ask that? I believe there's a LASIK epidemic. I don't believe it is morally or ethically sound. I'm not arguing against LASIK when your vet tells you how much to administer for a very specific need. I understand there are some severe cases. I grew up with a dad who made his living training thoroughbred racehorses on the track. I've known about bleeders my whole life. Did we have to run on LASIK sometimes? Yes. But what my dad taught me, the best thing you can do for any horse to heal them, best thing, time.
Yep.
So being able to now understand how to support them so they do not bleed, that's character. That's integrity. That is stewarding these gifts that I believe God gives us and allows us this opportunity to enjoy. So just talking about the diaphragm, and I'm going to do a little example here on Daisy, and I'm going to do kind of what we've all seen as a, barrel racing posture and drill. Leanna, talk about shorten stride, shorten muscles.
Yeah.
Compressed diaphragm, and everyone watching, okay, you're going to watch several things. You're going to watch where this horse's head is at.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all taking notes? Take notes. Watch the head. Watch her eyes. I want you to watch her feet. Watch the stride. That's why I put polo wraps on her, because I want you to see the difference. Sherry, do you want to put your device on her? I want you to watch the stride change, and I want you to watch her tail. What we learned from Michael Richardson, he's our lead stride coach of biomechanics. Some of you may have heard this. I'd never heard it the way Michael explained it, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. How many decades have I spent trying to make a living training horses? When their head gets above their withers, they ain't learning.
Yep.
And we can put every bonnet and brain chain and tie down and running martingale and draw bit on them to force that head down. Why are they lifting their head, guys? Any guesses? That's what we need to solve. And that's actually the easiest thing to solve.
Well,
when we started this week and we said, you can become the solution. There's a big clue, Leanna.
Well, here's something that I had written down as a note, and I can put it in the chat box so that people can see it and continue and read, because sometimes you have to hear it and read it and reflect on it.
Okay.
But drills cannot get into the energy of where tension and compensatory holding patterns exist in the horse's body.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't think you have them, think again. We all have them.
Again, we all have them, right?
We have them too.
And so for me, it's never going to be, Michael has a beautiful phrase, speed is nothing more than fast fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
And what we recognize is that people are missing and horses are missing developmentally fundamental movement patterns.
Yes.
Because it's like a baby that goes from, and listen, everybody used to brag about this, but what neuroscience began to figure out, that a baby that went from crawling to walking or just skipped crawling actually was not healthy for the brain. So they had to go back and do a lot of cross-lateral movement for brain development, right? And so we have a lot of horses in this industry that skipped some fundamental movement patterns. That's right. And they went straight to exercising their athletics, quick fire muscles. And we had neglected the postural development of the horse. And again, I'll say that again, drills cannot get into the energy and the postural muscles of where tension and holding patterns reside in the horse. It cannot happen. That does not happen in drills.
I have a feeling that we may have some skeptics watching right now. But you're thinking, but right now. Hold. Or I know that. There's the opposite end spectrum between foundation and fundamental. Because you might be thinking, my horse has a good foundation, but does your horse have fundamental movement patterns?
Right.
Does your horse have a fully developed proprioceptive ability? How is the somatosensory system? Good. If you are even taking that horse to the bank, I mean, you got a cash cow and you are winning thousands of dollars. You have a great horse. Maybe you have a whole barn full of them. We're here to tell you we can help you make them even better. If that's what you want, if that's what you're interested in, and if you have an open mind. Sherry, are we good?
Yeah.
All right, we're collecting data. I'm going to do some drills that I've seen over the years, still today prevalent. And I want y'all to watch my horse. What are some things that y'all notice?
Yeah, look at the mouth. Yep, head up immediately. Tension in through the head and the neck. Tail is real still.
Do I look like I'm abusing the horse? Does this look bad?
Mm.
This looks pretty stereotypical, does it not? Like, this is what we do. We ask them to side pass. Watch, look at that.
There's a
I've
lack
got
of.
light hands.
Mm.
What's wrong with this? Well, you
That's
may
the
not
phrase,
think anything's wrong with it, but we're
right?
going to show you something completely different.
Right. That's where, Kendra, the phrase, just because you have light hands doesn't mean you're a good rider.
And doesn't mean you have a light body. And we're not talking about
Right.
your weight, guys.
Correct.
That you called me up big time on that one, Leanna Ray. Woo-hoo-hoo. Woo, thank you for making me a better rider. Gosh, the things I didn't know. So this looks pretty stereotypical, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Y'all see that
Never
stride?
riding like a pogo stick, never understood pulling their head that much while going forward. Exactly. Narrowing eyes, stiff and resistant, outside hind to short. Exactly.
And then how about this? Y'all see this? How many barrel trainers have you watched do this? And when it gets hard, they just speed them up. Take them out further and speed them up. Stay in their mouth the whole time. Have y'all watched that? It's still happening today. This has been done for about 50 years. This right here. I'm starting to hear her breathing. We don't have a microphone on Daisy, but if y'all were here, you can hear her breathing. You can hear it? Yeah. She's not using her diaphragm. She's taking little shallow breaths. Over time, what's that going to do? Especially when I add speed and ask her to run. It's going to have an impact on her lungs. All right, let's look at the difference. All right, Daisy.
There's
What
more
do y'all
unity.
see now?
Yeah, there's more. So the difference, right? Look at the difference. Look at the difference in Kendra's body and how she's moving with the horse. There's unity right there.
What's different in her stride? What do y'all see?
The stride changes immediately. Yep. Wendy.
Okay. Well, then why are we complaining about having to pay for massage therapy and chiropractic and supplement this and joint that and serve this and treatment that and vet bills this? Do you complain about those things? We're not saying they're bad. We're saying learn how to ride in such a way that you're not causing those problems.
And learn to
That
ride.
makes the most sense.
Oh, yeah. And learn how to ride in a way where when you see those constriction patterns, you know how to release those constriction patterns in your horse, the way in which you ride and the movements
Yes.
that you have them engage in. So the beautiful part about it is that when you sense that tension, right, that you know, okay, I sense tension right there in the hind. So now I'm going to work with my pelvis. I'm going to work through my own nervous system. Right. And I know, and we talk about this through attunement in the classes, what movement explorations to engage in order to help unlock those points of constriction within their bodies, right?
There you go.
Yep,
Okay.
we got you back. But that is the thing, is that the way in which you ride can provide those adjustments. It is the therapy. Your riding is the therapy, period. Those other
How
things,
many
like
of you
you
want
said,
to learn how to do that? How many of you want to learn how to ride in this new way that feels like a massage to your horse? Now, I have a feeling when I stop here in a minute, you're going to watch Daisy start to lick and chew. You're going to see her eye change. Do y'all see the stride change? How's the energy? I'm curious. If you're still like a hard sell and skeptic, and this can't possibly be that big a deal, we're actually collecting data right now on her stride length, her speed, and how much energy she's expending to carry me. Good girl, Daisy. Good girl. Let's give her a second. Talk about the synovial pump, Leanna.
Ah, it's so beautiful. So I love how people are commenting like less dust. So what that means is that when you see less dust, it means that the way in which Kendra's riding is that Kendra is allowing the horse to have a complete movement in a way where Kendra's body is absorbing like all of the motion that's coming through the horse, and she's the conduit for it to be released out. That's
Yes.
so important. Otherwise, all that dust means that's heavy on the joints,
Yes.
right? That is heavy. I mean, you talk about wear and tear on their body. But when you see less dust, you know that the communication that's happening between the horse and the way in which Kendra's riding is that the movement is being dispersed all throughout the body, all throughout
Landing
Kendra's
softly.
body. Yes,
Yeah.
and that allows the synovial fluid to start flowing because motion is
Motion is
lotion. The
lotion.
motion of that is actually
Yeah.
lubricating the joints of both the
Yes.
horse and Kendra, by the way. And so again, it really creates an environment where the movement can happen without a disruption and a cost at our bodies, which
And
is huge.
yeah. I'm curious, Jackie Long, are you able to join us today? I know you have a busy
Jackie.
schedule.
Yes, I'm
Jack-
here. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's good to hear your voice. Thanks for
Hi.
joining us. I know you're busy. So
That's okay. My daughter's here helping today, so we're good.
I was just so thankful when you came into our program because you really validated what we were doing, because you've also spent your whole life in the saddle. Your entire career, you have, like,
Yeah.
your whole lifetime, you've committed to horses, been in the horse industry, cutting industry, barrel racing. You're no greenhorn. You're not green. You've seen it all.
Yes.
What
Good,
brought
bad,
you
and ugly.
what brought you to the Half Second Faster Challenge, and why'd you stay?
The first of all, I looked at it for a couple of years. I can't tell you how many videos I watched of you, and then kind of just was like, I can do that. I'm already doing that. Why can't my horses are doing that? And then when you get out there and you're really, if you put the two and two together and you think about what you see just in a tiny, video and a glimpse of something, and then you try to apply and you're like, well, I can't do that. I need to look into that further. How is she doing that? How can I get to where she's showing what she's able to do on her horse? And I haven't barrel raced and probably literally, I got to thinking about this the other day after Shelly had messaged me, and I've not actually run down the alley but one time in probably the last 15 years. And that's rough. It's hard for me to accept that about myself, but it's because what I had been doing, and I got really spoiled on a very nice ex-cutting horse. He was so easy to ride, and we won a lot and did, a lot of things. But as I was trying to bring others along, I kept getting only so far, and I literally would hit this roadblock of, why am I not progressing? How come I can't get out of the 3D? What is going on with, we're asking all the right things for this animal, but I'm stuck, and this hurts me physically. My horses are not behaving well. It just was a progression of just this, wasn't getting anywhere, treading water, and I couldn't stand it anymore. And last year I literally had made a decision. My goal was to go run at the senior in March. I signed up for the Half Second Faster Challenge in January, and I was like, well, I just want to go run down the alley. This is going to be easy. I can do that. I've got 3 months. I can, let's do this challenge. Let's do the attunement. Let's try this.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, and this is something that I'm hoping will stay with Stall High forever, because I have this thing that I say, because this is exactly, I'm going to try to do it without crying. This is exactly what it did to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I shit you not, and I'm not going to beat around the bush, and I'm going to say that word, because if this process that this woman right here in this whole program is teaching you, if this does not shake you, you cannot be shook. I cannot express to you enough.
Yes.
Life changing. Change your mind and change your life, and accept the simplicity of these insanely amazing, it's fantastic community of women, and the processes, and Michael and Leanna.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. And you will
Mm.
learn more than you ever thought you could. And you need to forget the old stuff. Get
Yeah.
rid of that and learn more than you ever thought you possibly could. This will take you
Amen.
beyond anything you've ever thought you were capable of.
The faster we can let go of what we thought we knew,
Yeah.
the faster we can embrace this new. And the horses are so grateful for it. And you've ridden with, I mean, some very
trainers.
elite trainers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very elite. And no shame on anyone or anyone who's helped us, right? They gave us opportunities in our
Mhm.
lives. And my dad shared all that he could with me.
Mhm.
Well, he did that expecting me to go further than he did.
Mhm.
And this is our opportunity to do that and also pave a new, wider path for those riders coming behind us to make things
Mhm.
easier for them and their horses. We got too much going for us, guys, to be broke all the time or to
Right.
have broken bodies.
Well,
how many of y'all
about
feel like that's you?
yeah. Oh gosh, yes. At 41 years last year, we discovered I've got some physical issues that I've been carrying around for
Mhm.
41 years that I didn't know I had.
Mhm.
And part of that, you know, was putting the block of my physical awareness and why I couldn't get past certain things and how I couldn't help
Yes.
my horse get past certain things. Because as the rest of this week progresses, y'all will understand how, and I'm going to hopefully not cheat too much saying this, but you'll understand a mirror effect and how things are actually going to be, you know, those things matter. You have to be in physical shape. You have to know what your body's capable of. And you
Yes.
have to
And what it's
help your
not.
horse understand. Say it again.
And what it's not. Like there are
Oh,
I'm
especially
learning
when it's not.
more.
Yeah.
I'm learning more about myself.
Right.
You know, we have a muscle activation coach. The
Mhm.
left side of my body, all of the muscles fire slower than the right. I didn't even know that. And now that I do, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm learning how to wake them up. Okay. In my brain and through the kinetic chain, because I know that it's holding me back on the barrel pattern. I've already spent millions of dollars, guys. In so many years, I've cried the tears and spent the money and spent the time away from home and family chasing that gold buckle. I'm not going back out there until I have full ammunition. I don't
Mhm.
care to go back and repeat what I've already done.
Mhm.
It has its highs, but it had more lows than highs. It's a true whooping, mentally, spiritually, financially, and physically. So I want to go back healthy in all areas and be able to really support my horse without having to rely on products and supplements and medications and pain relief. I'm learning how to do those things naturally, which we all are. It blows my mind. So Jackie, I love that you're talking to new challengers who are coming in, because it's okay to come in skeptical, because that can lead to being curious, that can lead you to wisdom, making a better, more educated decision. What would you tell someone that's kind of struggling with that? Like, I already know that, or I'm doing that. That is so good. What they're saying is great for everybody else.
Right. Yeah. Well, because we've been taught the most basic information, so it's drilled into us more so than in our horses, that we get stuck in that place and we can't believe that something else is possible. Because if you have that tiny bit of self-doubt, it leads to lack of self-confidence. And that's where we don't really put the two and two together, and we blame it on the horse. I mean, you always put a bigger bit, tie downs, brain chains, go the whole gamut, spend thousands of dollars with drill coaches, and go to these 2-week-long clinics that literally are only just sucking your, money right out of you. And they don't help you. They're not interested. They're only interested in what you are paying them. And recognize, if you're here, you already know what you need to do. The process has begun
All right.
because you're asking the right questions. about
Oh,
yourself
that's good.
and where you
So
want to go.
good. It's so good. Oh, questions are a good thing. We should be
Mhm.
questioning everything.
Question everything. I mean,
Question
even to the
everything.
smallest, most ridiculous thing you think it is,
Yes.
question it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Nobody's above it. And it doesn't matter
Mhm.
how accomplished you are.
Right.
If you were born in the saddle, like me and Jackie, you've been in the saddle since before you could walk or talk. Anybody
Mhm.
else? It doesn't matter. We're not telling you that
There's different kinds of skills.
you know that you suck or that you don't know anything or that you can't ride. We're saying you're capable of doing even better. There's more. There's more on the
Yeah.
table. There's more in your horse than you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And for those who are ready to release it and really find out how to do it and not, have to keep up with the Joneses financially.
Right.
I don't want to see
And
the
what's
sport of barrel
interesting
racing
about this,
become a rich man's game. I don't.
right, right. And what's interesting about this process of how we were going into this challenge, what you can expect of yourself if you apply everything is if you listen to your horse, because the less is more theory really comes in to helping your horse understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish through just this simple, just trying a few things a little differently, that they already kind of have a second sense of they already know, and they're going to teach you what you need to know
Yes.
to help yourself get out of your ruts, out of your struggles, out of your self-confidence issues. Believe in yourself, believe in what they can show you.
They'll
Because
lead
of
you
what
to
you're
a bigger
showing
path.
them will
Yes.
lead you absolutely down that path of where you really want to go, and that success, what you're trying to do. Not everybody's running for the NFR, but those that strive to do very well locally, or that wanted to hit these big shows like the senior, or go to the mega or something like that. I mean, you can
safe.
change and be safe, but you can change the entire industry. The
Yes.
entire industry.
So
is
Kendra and
accomplishes-
Jackie, can I
Yes.
speak?
Yeah.
Can I speak into
Yes.
something that Jackie
Yeah.
just said, which is
Yeah.
something that you can highlight, underline, bold, face print, is that she said something very profound, is that your horse can teach you what you need to know.
Come on.
That is a profound truth. Here's the catch. Your nervous system has to be in a state that can receive that can actually connect and receive that
Yes.
information.
Yes.
The horse knows. The horse is waiting for you to make contact, connection, and for your nervous system to be in a state that it can receive the knowing that is already innately in your horse.
I'm curious, how many
Don't
people
teach
just
that.
yawned? How many people just took a big breath? Ty's raising his hand. Did anyone swallow while she was talking? In the comments, did y'all just take a big, deep breath? Anyone catch yourself swallowing? Did your heart rate just lower? Leanna, what's happening?
Oh, it's regulation. So what you're hearing from Jackie, how we emphasized that point and explained the neuroscience behind that, put all of our nervous systems collectively, took a big sigh of relief. And actually, we just took in hope.
It's good
There
stuff.
it is.
It's community
That's-
learning, field of
Yes, because as
resonance.
humans, we soak just as much as our horses.
Yes. Jackie, thank you for being here today. We've got a few minutes left.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I want to hear from Cheryl Nielsen. She came into Half Second Faster Challenge. And I'm curious to hear your story. If you would, please, Cheryl, like what caught your attention about Half Second Faster Challenge?
Well, like Jackie, I had scrolled through Facebook and I had seen the Stall High Half Second Faster Challenge since I think it was June of 23 was I signed up for the first challenge, but I didn't participate. So in June of 24, I signed up for my first Half Second Faster Challenge, and I was ready. I was writing my comeback story. I had been away from riding for a little bit of time due to my own injuries and my horse's injuries. And when I came back after having my hip replaced in January of 24, I started writing again, and I realized that my posture, something was not right. I was not getting the movement that I wanted from my horses. I couldn't keep my right foot in my stirrup. And so I started working with a dressage instructor.
Mhm.
And she really opened my eyes to a different way of riding. And I knew I needed to look into that further.
Mhm.
So I rode with her for probably 4 or 5 months. And when I saw the Stall High Challenge come up in June, I thought this really seems to align with what I've been learning from this other discipline.
Mhm.
So I signed up, and I was terrified going live, like most of you are already.
Oh, but you're such a natural at it. You
Oh
got
my
this
gosh.
down pat now.
Oh, thank you. But it was terrifying. And so I went through the first challenge, and I felt like I got some new tips and tricks
Mhm.
for my comeback story. And it's funny because I signed up for the backstage pass, and money's really tight right now for us. We poured a lot of money into our own physical health issues. So money was really tight. But the $47 for the backstage pass at the time,
Yes.
the sunglasses. That sold me on the $47 because I thought, if nothing else, I get this super cool pair of sunglasses out of it. So I signed up for the backstage pass, and I realized I needed more. So I signed up again in July, got my second pair of Stall High shades,
Mhm.
and about the third or fourth day into it, you posed a question in the horsework about what are your horses trying to tell you? And I did the horsework and was all proud of myself. And you commented on there that I sounded a little bit like a Betty Barrel racer.
I did.
You did. And I was I was offended. I had a little bit of a mini breakdown.
Okay.
But that
Thank-
breakdown turned into a breakthrough for me
Mm.
because it caused me to look deeper into what my horses really were trying to tell me. And it was almost like pulling the Band-Aid off because I really did start to consider what my horses might be trying to tell me.
Mhm.
And what I
Oh,
felt like
I think I
was
remember
hearing-
that. Hold on. What did you comment something like, my horse loves to run. She loves to do her job?
Yes, and she says, "Just let me go, Mom." So it sounded really flippant, and I really meant it at the time. I thought, that's what she wanted to do, was to go. But in reality, I think she was telling me, I can't run because I'm not regulated. I am anxious, and you're not helping me because you're anxious as well. You're holding tension in your body, which causes me to hold tension in my body. And the dialogue now would be much different than what I thought I was hearing. But I had a little mini breakdown, and it was the opening of my breakthrough. And at that point, I was committed to the program. I felt like, a lot of programs, those flippant comments might have gone unchallenged or unnoticed, but you called me up, not out. It felt like out at the time, but you called me up. And for that, I'm eternally grateful because it's brought me this far. I went from the challenge into attunement, and then extended attunement until the end of December, when I was able to order my bullseye saddle and go on to most recently attunement 201. So that's where I am now, and I'm just so excited. This program has been life-changing for me, and my horses.
How have they changed?
Oh my gosh. Holly in particular, when I came back to riding after my surgery, I started out on Roseanne because
Mhm.
Roseanne's my steady Eddie. She's calm, she's quiet, she's smooth. I always used to refer to Holly as being rather fractious, but she was anxious, she was rough, and now she's smooth, she's soft. She comes to me in the field. It doesn't matter what I'm doing out there. She walks right over to me and puts her head down to me. Her eyes are soft. She's really made a huge transformation.
How many of you want that? And those of you who have been like, whatever, you might be a little skeptical right now. You might be a little hardened, like, I am a horseman, Kendra. Okay, good. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening. But you can't tell me that even the most seasoned, accomplished horseman in the world doesn't get a kick out of that. When you don't have to chase one down, they're happy to see you. They got a soft eye. They're just quiet. They're not in your space, like needy and pesky, but they're dependable. They want to be with you. That's a horse. And for the horsemen out there, you understand what kind of value that is and what value that adds to any horse program. And we keep hearing that, Cheryl, time and time and time again about the level of connection with horses. Like their previous disinterest and inconsistency and, vet, needs, ulcers, injections, all of that, complete turnaround to now they're just happy to be part of it. It's weird. I started noticing, like when I take my horses out on long rides, we turn around and they don't want to come back. Like they want to keep going. The first summer I learned how to ride in Attunement, I was just riding in this little back pasture behind the barn and I was bareback. And I remember aiming my gray mare back to the barn. She gets to the barn. I'm not even touching the lead rope. And the mare turns by the pond and takes another loop. Now, how many horses have you ridden, guys, that do that? Every one of them, typically, they're ready to get back. Like, thanks, I'm done. See ya. Thanks for the feed. Done that time and time and time again because she wants to spend time with me now. That's a feeling you can't put a price tag on, guys. That's where we get past the return on your investment into the reward. Cheryl, do you mind if we watch your before and after video?
Sure, go for it.
All right, talk us through. Ty's going to pull it up on the screen so we can see what we're looking at here.
Okay, that must have been, okay, that was in October. So I didn't start riding Holly again until August. So she had been off since June of 23. And prior to that, I think I only
rode
her twice in 23. But so that's only her second run in over a year.
That was a good run. What's this one?
Oh, that's Roseanne.
Okay. Different horse?
Different horse. Yes, that's my steady Eddie, but she has a tail problem. So I'm hoping we can get that addressed. It's calming down, but I haven't really run her recently.
Ty, are those the only videos you have of her?
There's one more.
Okay. Was this your before? Or?
This one was, I believe, from December. So that was a couple runs. Well, that was the third run that she had made. And actually the time was a little bit slower, but I felt like it was smoother.
Okay.
I think the first barrel is my nemesis. For some reason, I'm terrified to send her to the first barrel, and I always make a larger pocket than necessary. So I've really been working on the slow work as far as getting her in the exact spot. But my
so how have your times changed?
You know what? It's funny. I am right where I was when she was running well
Okay.
before her injury.
Okay. What has
And
changed? What's changed for you? What do you feel different?
I feel, well, number one, I'm not wearing rubber bands and I'm keeping my feet in my stirrups all the
Good.
time.
Good.
I we have a bad stop. I feel like I'm not as fearful to send her because I think that we've done enough slow work now that she's going to stop
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to turn for me.
It's
And
good. So you trust more?
I trust more. I've been working a lot on my hands and my upper body. Been working on my core strength. You know, when you come back from a surgery, it takes a long time to rebuild all those muscles. And
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Kendra,
it does.
can we say
Yes.
that drills don't build trust? Drills didn't build that trust.
Come on. Come on. How many of you have drilled every freaking barrel horse you've ever owned? And the better horse you get that can really run, how many of y'all have gone through that struggle of inconsistency, blowing past the barrels, not being able to trust them? You want to let them go, but every time you do, you can't trust them. They're just running right past it or they're cutting in front of it. Drills do not build trust. Sometimes they can build obedience, rote memory at best. But when we realize how much we're leaving in the arena, on the table, on the clock, by not doing drill, when we do them, and how much more is available to us when we don't do them, that's a wake-up call. It takes a lot less time spending with your horse. You're going to have less vet bills because there's not so much percussion on their joints every day, or yours either. So we really want to lengthen the sustainability of riders' careers as well and not be all stove up when you're my age and older. I want to keep riding. After I'm done chasing my gold buckle dreams, I want to just ride for fun and not have to train for a living. I'm thankful I don't have to do that anymore. I love coaching online. I love doing these challenges and our online classes and learning this new way myself. Yesterday, I got to go compete at a race in Decatur, Texas, and I felt one stride that like my heart just shot through the roof. I was so happy to feel that stride stretch. It was just amazing. That is the one thing that is money. Like I know it's in there. So it's a really cool path and journey to be on. I'm excited to get to share it. Cheryl, thank you for spending time with us today to share your story and for endorsing the program. You and Jackie both lend credibility to it. And how many of you feel like you can relate to either one of those women? Leanna, your final thoughts about this new riding style, attunement over drills. What are some of the benefits and the changes you see in our community?
Oh, I've seen in our community horses transform, and I've seen in our community people's lives transform, that they take not only under saddle, but out with them in the world. And I
Yeah.
think that those are the stories that, between each month, we'll be sharing more, like you and I talked about how people's lives are changing outside of the arena. Because when
Yeah.
you ride in attunement and you get your nervous system regulated and attuned, other changes begin to happen. You see the world differently.
Yeah.
You think differently.
Yeah.
And how beautiful is it that in this community that the horse is the bridge to that? That's
Yes.
even make it more profound. And again, yes, is knowledge an investment? You bet. But
Of
that knowledge
course.
you carry with you the rest of your life through all the generations. And then when
Yeah.
you train your horse, that horse, if they're a breeding horse, that gets bred into their breeding line.
Yes.
Like again, it's exponential of all the changes and
Yes.
transformations that can happen.
Yes. Knowledge, guys. Knowledge. We've been struggling. We've been on struggle bus because we didn't have enough information. And now we do, which makes us hungry for more. We don't want to stop. So how many of you are interested? Like, sign me up. I want in this class, whatever she's talking about. It's called Attunement 101. It is a 21-day makeover course. You will take it online. You have 3 choices. You can take the DIY route. Okay, that's the cheapest way to go. If that's what you're doing. Okay, you need it to be affordable. Great. Look at the DIY option. I recommend the middle one. That's with live coaching. You get to come to 2 live coaching calls per week. And your 3rd week in this program, you get to have a free digital field trip to the masterclass, where you will hear our stride coaches, Leanna Ray and Michael Richardson, doing reviews and coaching our master level students. You get to be a fly on the wall digitally. And it will forever change how you think about horses and how you ride. Once you see this stuff, you'll never unsee it. So you're going to look at barrel racing differently from now on. And you get immediate access into our digital clinic library. So you're going to start learning immediately. Those of you who sign up today, you can start learning how to ride this new way, how to start changing your hips, how to start understanding your horse's need for balance, how these 4 legs move, and what you need to do with your seat so that they feel the most support and they learn how to stretch their stride. We talked about runners earlier this week, how bend and flex shortens the stride too. So many people are obsessed with speeding up the feet, speeding up the feet. Check out this new drill to speed up the feet. That has about as much sense as a runner trying to go get to the Olympics, just running by moving their feet more. It's not about how many times you can pick up your feet and stir them in the dirt. How many of you know to get to the Olympic level, you better have a runner's posture. You better know about the biomechanics of your body. You need to know how to elongate your stride efficiently, not just output, output, output. 2 miles per gallon to your body or to your vehicle or to your horse. That's expensive. We want to teach you how to get maximum return very efficiently so that your horse isn't just leaking out all of the power, all of the speed, all of the energy because of tack choices and traditions that we've, held. That's all we knew until now. So this is a new way. We do have a 3rd option. You can get all of the above plus private coaching. So you will have a certified coach meet with you weekly. Your reviews, your coaching will be done in private. The first 5 people to join Attunement 101 this month, we are going to bless you with a free upgrade to private. That's going to save you $2,000. Is that right? Yeah. We're giving $2,000 away to 5 people. I highly recommend you reach out. We have a hotline. Everybody type this in the comments in case someone's driving and they can't write this down and they can screenshot it. I want you to text area code 940-291-9090. 940-291-9090. You can talk to one of our expert advisors for free. They will help you with your personal horse. They will help explain how this program works and all the success and case studies that we have up until this point. It is absolutely amazing. We've never witnessed anything like it anywhere in the horse industry, regardless of the discipline. This is like changing the history of horsemanship and for sure changing the sport of barrel racing. Also get assigned your certified coach. Those top 5 who come in early, you're going to be assigned your own personal private coach to go through these next 21 days. There is nothing else you can purchase that will get this result in this quick a time. Everything else out there, I love what you said, Leanna, about once you invest in yourself, in education, you have that for the rest of your life.
Yes.
All the paste and the buckets and the electric blanket, magnet this, plug this in. I'm almost to the point when I go to a big race, I'm reminded of like those reality TV shows like Dance Moms and Housewives, because all the pain relief products have just become a big flex for a lot of people. Not everyone, but you see some people just, they're so theatrical, they just put all their stuff out and it's just, oh, just wrap it here. I mean, it's just a big freaking production. Does it help? Or do they still come out dazed and confused? Are they still complaining that their horse needs all of this stuff? And I don't mean to poke fun or put anybody down. If you've already invested in that, use it wisely. And if the way you were taught to ride and the tack you were told to use is causing you to have to rely on those things, well, anybody with half a brain can understand that that's not logical. It's time to be a better steward of the horse. And if you can't do that, at least you can advocate for them. Do y'all agree? Do you agree it is stall high time that we speak up for these horses that do far more for us than we give them credit for? Are you glad you're here? Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin Copeland. All right, we're going to have a horsework link. I'm going to ask you to go dig through your closet and find some old clothes that don't fit anymore. And we're going somewhere with this. You're going to put on stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable. If you hate wearing turtlenecks, put one on for today's assignment. I want you to put on a belt that's too tight, pants that are so tight they're hard to sit in. Put on too much clothing. I want you to make yourself uncomfortable and do your horsework assignment and then share how it makes you feel. How would you like to have to try to concentrate and compete while wearing all of that? Especially if that clothing restricts your movement. If you can't move your head, I don't know about y'all, but oof, if I have to wear like a button-down shirt and the shoulders are too small, it physically irks me. It's not painful, but it's irritating as hell. And it just puts me in a really bad mood. How many people have horses that you falsely believe they're in a really bad mood all the time, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're just fed up with all the stuff and they're just asking for free range of motion. They want to relax too. They want to roll their shoulders and be able to just not be held collected all the time. That's another false belief. Collection is not really collection. Ooh, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will do another example. You're going to meet our lead stride coach of biomechanics, Michael Richardson. I will be back on Daisy to show you the difference between riding in attunement, this new style at stall high, and riding out of attunement. And it's real fascinating to see how the horse changes. If you've never seen it before, you wouldn't suspect anything otherwise. You wouldn't suspect anything different at all. You might just think, oh, she's just a nice little 3D horse. I need to go spend more money. I need to get a more expensive horse. When really they have a lot more potential than we give them credit for. All right, did I miss anything or anyone, Sherry? Leanna, thank you for being here. Cheryl, Jackie, thank you too. I'm proud of everyone for being part of this challenge. If you're watching online on another platform, look up halfsecondfaster.com, sign up. It's a free barrel clinic. And I promise you, you're going to get more out of this free week than anything else you've ever paid for out there. It's happening. It's already happening. We've got a lot of success stories to back it up. And I'll see you